Welcome back, sporting fans, to a special episode of the Paint the Wall podcast. I, as always, am your host, Steve, and I am joined this week, quite literally, in person.
Yeah.
By a man whose favorite ice cream flavor is honey mustard, but you all know him as Logan.
Yeah. I mean, honey mustard is clearly the best flavor because you get that little bitterness from the mustard. You get that sweet honey along with the creamy ice cream. Like, it's just, what else would you possibly have in ice cream?
I'm on board. I just think that you having the mustard seeds in there is weird because it's...
Well, that's a texture thing. You want the crunchy.
It's not any different than
it a
having
good texture.
Chocolate chips in there.
No, exactly. Exactly. Right.
No.
Yeah.
Well, as you can see, we're in person.
We're in person!
This time. How cool.
Yeah.
So this is going to look different.
Right.
It's going to seem different.
Right.
It's going to sound different.
Yep.
But we're still talking about a crappy soccer team that lost a game.
Yeah.
So, really, nothing different.
So if things go whack, sorry, we tried our best.
Yeah, just roll with it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
We are, of course, talking about our 4-2 loss to the Galaxy. Not anything that we didn't expect to happen. We expected to lose. I don't know that we expected to lose how we lost. But,
I mean, I think both of us predicted ties, didn't we?
Yeah, we actually both had a 2-2 draw, so no points. Okay, we can skip that point later. No points. Still up by 1.
Solid.
I don't know. Opening thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, it was, so I didn't get to watch it live because I had to drive here the next morning, so it was a bit of a drive. And so I was like, I only got to watch, I got to watch the whole second half. I only got to watch a bit of the first half.
Didn't miss anything.
So I didn't get a great perspective of it. But from what I watched and what I saw, it was a really strange way to lose the game. I mean, like you said, I don't think anybody expects us to lose the game in that way. Credit where it's due. Peter's trying different stuff. Peter's doing something. We had some fun subs that did some stuff. We had some different players coming in different places. We had Davis playing in the midfield for a while. We had Tommy playing over on the left wing. We had Frifa playing over on the left wing. We saw a Frifa that we haven't seen that in a minute.
And he scored.
He did. Which, I mean, that surprised me. I mean, we got 2 pretty unexpected goal scorers here because we had a Frifa and then Castellanos, who wasn't on my bingo card, that's for sure. But one thing I didn't mention this after the Seattle game, but one thing I wanted to point out, I really think Peter has something for Castellanos. I really think Peter believes in Castellanos.
Well, he's been playing really well, too, so...
Well, and immediately after the game, the first thing I saw Peter do, he came straight for Castellanos. And Castellanos, down on the ground. And Peter went straight up to him and, fist in his chest, pointing at his heart. And, the way that it's I knew you had it in you kind of feeling. And I'm like, Peter sees something in Castellanos. Yeah. And I'm all for it because, we know our center back issues.
Yeah.
If, we can get a Castellanos that's actually decent, I'm happy with that.
I'm all for this Castellanos.
Yeah.
Not the one we got last year, but he's clearly improved.
Yeah,
so,
I would agree with that.
I think he's looked a lot better, and he gets a goal here. They asked him about the goal after the game, and he said it's training ground stuff. They do this every day in practice, which to me... I don't know. I mean, yeah, that is training ground stuff, but at the same time, that's the first time we've ever seen it.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, well, if you guys practice this every day, why do we not score more set piece goals?
Yeah, exactly.
That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But
no.
I'll give you kind of a quick rundown of the first half. I know you said you didn't get to watch too much of it. You really didn't miss that much. Couple pregame notes: Basong, Fontes, Castellanos, Shelton on our back line. I assumed it was to keep Davis as a midfield sub because we only have 3. Elenis playing for Shallowy. I put Likely on right wing, though. That is where he started, but he did very quickly switch with Johnny, which was not a smart move.
No, agreed.
Which I'll get to that in a minute. That's a whole separate thing I want to talk about.
Sure.
Early, Timmy showing Stephen Fry how to save a ball that's kicked directly at your feet.
Yeah.
By actually saving it. So that was nice. I like anytime we can show up Stephen Fry.
Good for him.
Couple chances really thus far. It seemed like we were kind of decently creative, which honestly, that was the whole game really. Well, until the third goal.
Right.
But most of the game, we seemed really creative and like we were doing stuff. And I kind of liked. It looked like it was going well.
Right. Agreed.
Castellanos looked great. Then they score. Back-to-back saves by Tim Melia. Great saves.
Good saves, yeah.
I can't expect him to make the third one, especially when his defense is just watching like we are, how amazed they are that he's saving these. It's like nobody crashed on that goal at all.
Right.
None of the defense.
Nobody.
That goal was frustrating for a lot of reasons. And Tim was pissed, as he should be.
Right.
You know, you make 2 saves like that back to back. You got to expect your defense can help you a little, but
yeah, your defense has to be there for you.
Yeah, nobody stepped on that, so that was annoying. This is where I kind of put in Vargas really looked out of sorts when they switched to the left. He kept cutting the ball to his right preferred foot,
right?
Which I understand because he's young and he's right-footed, so he prefers it. But I guess we can talk about it now because he does get subbed out at halftime. So before we get to second half, I'm curious what you thought if you got to really get a good feel for how Vargas played / didn't play, and
right.
I think he was disappointing to what we said last week. Anyway.
Right, agreed. You and I were both excited that he was going to get the start. We saw that afternoon. We saw him on the hype photo or
match
whatever
day thing, yeah.
and we were both excited for that. I mean, that was a really good opportunity for him to get some solid minutes and some solid contributions. But yeah, he just didn't look like himself. He wasn't. I don't think he was prepared enough for where and how he was going to be used in the game, and that just didn't work well enough for him. He like you said, he just wanted to play back to that right foot, and he just doesn't. I think he's got the good first move, and he's got the good finish. He just needs to learn the in between, and I think that's the bit that's the heart. I mean, that's the heart of this. I think the in between is what makes you a professional soccer player.
Yeah,
it's how do you get from the first move to putting the shot on goal.
Yeah.
And he just doesn't quite have that yet.
Or just don't, and just recognize that that's not something you do.
Right.
And your thing is you're going to touch it around him and you're going to outrun him. Or you're going to take a ball over the top and you're going to outrun him.
Right.
But we weren't doing that. We weren't playing it to him like that. We were playing it to him expecting it to be like how we would with Shallowy out wide. Or if Johnny's over there. Now, I understand the thought to switch them because Johnny's better on the right side than Vargas. He's better on both sides. But I think I would have switched back or had them switch back because it's like, okay, I'm going to switch you because Johnny's better over here than you are. Yeah. But then it became very evident that he's also better on the left side. So, like, you might as well at least let Vargas play on his strong side.
You have to let your veteran play in the uncomfortable position. Yeah. That's what you have to do there.
Exactly.
And the fact, the fact that Peter had Johnny on his preferred side the whole time and was putting Vargas in the uncomfortable position, that wasn't ideal. Yeah.
And honestly, for all I know, that may not be Peter's call. I mean, it is and it isn't. But when in general, Johnny and Daniel switch all the time, right? And that can't be all. That has to be stuff going on in the game. They switch, blah blah blah. Right. But in this case, it should have been Peter should have said, "You guys need to switch back." Maybe he did, and Johnny ignored him. Who knows?
Well, and I think even that Johnny has to recognize that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is if that's the case, Johnny has to also recognize this isn't going well. So
no, I agree with that 100%. It was not an ideal position to have him in.
Yeah. I think he'll get another shot at it. Should he? I don't know. Maybe he's better as that spark off the bench like I was talking about last week.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I do think we'll get a minimum of 2 more times out of him because I think we'll see him Wednesday and I think we'll see him again Saturday. Yeah. After that, I think it's going to depend on when Shalway comes back, but we don't really have a bunch of great options.
Right, we don't.
He's looking better than Sean East, so I guess I'll take that. Yeah. At least we got that.
True. The only thing I could think... So Davis subbed in for Vargas second half. Maybe Davis starts and we start Tommy on the wing. Yeah. That could be what ends up happening. Yeah. Who knows?
Yeah, I could see that.
Davis did, and Peter was very complimentary of Jake this whole game. He came in and was a big spark. Yeah. Which led to Agata and Afrifa eventually being an additional spark. But I think Peter's right. It all started with Jake.
Yeah. Agreed.
And I know you said you got to watch the whole second half, so you got a real feel for Davis. He was everywhere.
Yeah, he was. It was truly impressive to see. Again, we've talked about his soccer IQ, getting to see his soccer IQ going from position to position. He bounced around a lot this game.
Yeah, he did.
And playing in a position that like maybe natural to him, but he hasn't played it in a while in a competitive game. Well, except for, he's done it a couple times recently, but
yeah,
he's just done a lot, and we're really seeing how just smart he is at the game.
Yeah.
He just knows how to be a player.
Yeah.
And that's what you need. You just need a guy who can you can put him somewhere and he's just going to perform.
Yeah. And that's what we got out of him. It
Yeah.
didn't, he didn't score anything, which is unfortunate, but I don't know. Then just kind of going through the rest of the second half. Let's see. Nobody steps to Peck. The second goal, nobody steps to him. He just kind of dribbles around and eventually found a slot and shot and scored.
Yep.
Fontes got beat because he's slow.
Yeah, shocker.
Castellanos tried to recover, but he wasn't in the right spot anyway.
Yeah.
So I did put in here. It didn't end up mattering. But hey, we led 2-0 in the 72nd minute last time we played them. So that didn't end up mattering. But some wishful thinking there in the middle of the game.
The commentators definitely mentioned it a time or two. Yeah, that's for sure.
So eventually Agata comes on for Polito. I put I'm sure because I put that before they announced it, but I was like, who else is he coming in for?
Right.
Which is good because Polito was basically dog water the entire game.
Polito was useless.
Which is a reoccurring theme. He's pretty much always been useless. So
they did mention now 8 games.
Yeah.
Scoreless.
8 games scoreless.
Yeah.
Super glad we're paying him $5 million to not score goals.
Yeah. For sure.
No goals for making $9 million. Awesome.
Yeah.
A couple bad minutes there right after the subs. A couple almost goals by the Galaxy.
Yep.
Afrifa coming on. Who did he come in for? He come in for Johnny?
He came in
Tommy. He
for...
came in for Tommy.
No. I can't remember who he came in for.
Oh, Memo. I put it right here.
Oh, yeah. He came in for
Afrifa
Memo.
on for Memo.
Yep.
Tommy probably back to midfield, which is exactly what happened.
Yep. Well, sort of. They flip-flopped. Tommy did kind of play a bit winger as well.
Yeah, well, he played when... he played winger. Now I can't remember. I probably put notes in here somewhere, but I think he played winger at first, and then he got flipped back when Afrifa came in. Yeah. I don't remember. It doesn't really matter, but Afrifa getting a goal. Great move from Tommy and then across. Tommy kind of took it on himself. Yeah.
Nobody stepped up to Tommy, and nobody stepped up to Afrifa, so yeah, I'll take it.
He celebrated appropriately by grabbing the ball and running back to midfield.
Exactly as you should
really
do.
Matter.
Yep.
That I felt is when our momentum really changed.
Agreed.
And the momentum was clearly in our favor for a lot of the game.
Especially the second half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Agreed.
I really kind of started to get a little... I was like, well, we might be able to do this. This might literally be like...
Yeah.
They go up... or we went up 2-0 and blew it. And I'm like, this might... Well...
I definitely didn't feel that way, but... That's because I knew the score.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah, you knew the score. Yeah. I was watching live. So in the moment, I was like, well, this could happen. I'm just saying.
It could.
It didn't.
It didn't. It could have. It would have been great.
Yeah.
It didn't.
And then Agata gives away a ball. I still don't know what he was doing. He took a pass. I think it was from Tommy.
Yeah.
He tried to do a cheeky back heel to give it back to him. It just got stolen.
Yep.
And then the Galaxy very quickly played a deep cross-field and downfield cross to Gabriel Peck.
Gorgeous ball.
Just incredible.
Yeah, it was such a good ball in.
And then a perfect cross to Paintthewall, who had just came in and was wide open, slots it home.
Yeah.
3-1.
Yeah.
I don't know what Agata was doing, though.
I don't know.
That's another prime example of what are you doing? Which was, most of this game was him turning, getting a shot, which, again, I'm okay with him taking the shots because our other current striker doesn't even do that.
Right.
So I'm okay with Agata taking the shots, but every one of them has to be in the 40th row.
Right.
Or directly at the keeper. Those are the only two things we get from him.
He knows them in between.
Yeah.
You got to figure out, like, it's got to be Yips at this point. Like, it has to be. Because we saw last year he can score, but he's just not doing it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Right after that, Afrifa had a really dangerous cross to Agata, who got a shot on, but it was directly at the keeper.
Right.
So it's like... It's one or the other, man.
Yeah.
At least that was on target, I guess. But again, honestly, as frustrating as it is, I would take that over Polito's running around doing nothing all day.
Yeah, it's true.
Anyway.
He's just never... he's just not a striker. That's the problem. Yeah. If you're not going to be a striker, then play a different position.
Yeah.
Don't be a 9 and then not be the 9.
Yeah.
It's just... I don't know. I don't think he knows what to do anymore.
Yeah, I don't think he does either.
I think, unfortunately, he just hasn't translated to MLS.
He did at first. It's really
Sorta.
since his injury
Yeah, that's fair.
that he just even that though he won comeback player of the year for the team. Did he win for MLS last year?
Yes.
I think he did.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, so that can't be it. He clearly had a good run there. It's just not translating this year. It's because he got his extension. He got a 2-year extension, and now he's like, all right, I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm paid.
no, I agree.
I don't know. Any other notes that I want to talk? Oh yeah, 80th minute, LA keeper made a save on a point blank shot from Agata. Might be one of the best saves I've ever seen. It
was a pretty good save.
That was ridiculous.
That was impressive. Yeah.
I know the announcers, which they had their own problems, but they said it was probably the goal or save of the year. Very likely could be. That save. I don't know how he reacted that fast.
Yeah.
He may not even know how he reacted.
No, I don't think he did either.
But that was a great save.
Yeah.
We got the free kick goal from Castellanos, 3-2. It really kind of felt like we were still pushing.
Yeah.
Like maybe we could make this happen. But it was pretty obvious that our momentum had kind of switched back.
Right.
Afrifa still looked brilliant. They didn't have any answer for it.
Agreed.
I will say there was a lot like players, Jake Davis, Johnny Russell being the two that I noticed that seemed to be really annoyed at Afrifa at a lot of different times. I don't know if you noticed, but
I didn't notice that.
A couple shots that he took, a couple times when he didn't pass, he chose to try to take on the man instead of pass. Jake was heated after one when he took a shot, and Jake was wide open.
Yeah.
But he was like visibly like screaming and throwing his hands at the ground, going like, "I was wide open."
Yeah.
Weirdly enough, though, I kind of didn't really care because Afrifa was so on it that it was like, you feed the hot hand, and he was the one that nobody had an answer for. So let him go, see what he can do.
That's fair. You still got to be smart.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was one of those where honestly, like what we've been doing up to this point wasn't working. So honestly, I don't even care if you're not doing the smart stuff. Let's do something.
Yeah.
So that's a good point. Maybe.
Yeah. I don't know. Amelia made another save on a pencil shot that was really impressive.
Yeah.
Didn't matter though. Gabriel Peck continued to embarrass everyone.
Yep.
Slides one across to Miguel, who houses it, which brings me to something I want to show. I'm just going to show you in person.
Right.
I'm going to put it right here so everybody else can see it.
It's right there. Don't you see it? It's right there.
I
haven't even seen it yet.
I figure out how to edit videos properly. Otherwise, I'm pointing at nothing right now. But I think I can figure it out.
We might be looking really silly right now.
You'll notice right here.
I see that.
Goal LA Galaxy 27 M. Berry.
Yep.
Miguel Berry. That's who scored the fourth goal.
Yeah.
Except for, as you guys will also notice, he scored his goal in the 92nd minute.
That's impressive.
Not the 82nd minute.
That's impressive, yeah.
The 82nd minute was when Castellanos scored. The only reason I caught this is because I happened to be looking at the scoreboard. I rewound and took this screenshot. This is on the Castellanos goal. When Castellanos scored, they put this up, and it said goal LA Galaxy M. Berry. And I was like, I caught it when they put it.
Strange.
That's the only reason that I remembered it is because I saw it and was like, wait a minute.
Steve's going conspiracy theory.
Yeah,
again, guys.
I'm like, so this game was predetermined because they somehow... No, I'm kidding, of course. But the other thing that I wanted to look up because I was not 100% sure... yeah. So Miguel Berry got subbed on after that goal. He wasn't on the field when that goal was scored. So that just kind of furthers my conspiracy theory of like, how did they have this? I mean, I know they just type it like when they do it. It's like an overlay thing. You just type it whenever it happens. I get that. And my guess he did get subbed on in the 82nd minute. So maybe they were already typing the substitution pop-up
I could see
with
that.
his name. But I just find it weird that in the 82nd minute he scored, except for he didn't. It was Castellanos. He wasn't even in the game. But then 10 minutes later, he really does score. He does score. So
that's that's wild.
Conspiracy.
Yeah.
We'll let you believe whatever you all want. But it gave me a little bit of happiness in this game.
Hey, whatever works for you.
So,
one other thing I did want to point out.
Good, because I don't want to. That's the end of the game, pretty much.
Yeah. One thing I did want to point out. I think the moments when we looked the most dangerous was when Basong was pushing when he was.
Yep.
I think Basong is really starting to learn the system far better than Tim Leibold has.
Yeah.
He has made some really good runs, some really good passes. He's been filling the slot in really well, and I'm pretty happy with what we saw from him yesterday.
Yeah, I also had a note that he's made a couple runs a few times. He really has looked overall pretty good. I will say he's one of the ones that was standing there watching Tim Melia make back-to-back saves at the beginning.
True.
And I don't remember which one. I can't find the note on it. There was one other goal that could potentially be his fault. Because of not playing. So still mistakes.
That happens.
But as far as the attack goes, I agree that has been kind of nice. Same with I would say the exact same thing about Kyrie.
Yeah.
On the attack, he's been great. He was also the primary one watching Melia make those saves. So he has made some mistakes on defense. He gets a little more of a pass from me because he's not a right back.
Right. Yeah, that's fair.
But then he doesn't get a pass because we've had so much problem with Kyrie in the past. I don't know. I don't know where to go with that.
Yeah, it is what it is.
But I also really liked having Davis come in at midfield.
Yeah.
So I'm like, Kyrie does a good enough job at right back that if we can have Davis at midfield, if we need it.
That's true.
I don't know. At this point, it's just like, what do we do at the transfer window?
Yeah.
We just have to wait for that.
Yeah, you got to get something in the transfer window.
Which I did see a rumor today. 23-year-old Australian midfielder is who we're looking at.
Okay.
Has been rumored to be coming here. I watched his highlights. Pretty impressive. He's listed as a defensive midfielder. I don't remember his name. I'm sorry. You guys have probably seen it. I'm not going to spend 10 minutes trying to find it.
Yeah, it's valid.
But he's Australian. I remember that. And he's 23.
Okay.
He's listed as a defensive midfielder, but he really plays like an attacking midfielder.
Cool.
And he's had like 9 goals last year, I think. And
yeah.
I don't remember, but he's young. That's what I thought was nice. He's young. He's fast. He's fairly big for 23.
Yeah.
So
cool.
That could be a good one, but it can't be the only one.
Right.
Because
we need a lot of help.
Griezmann.
Oh, right. Griezmann. I'm sorry.
All right. That's all I got for this game.
Okay.
Oh, I guess we have MVPs, don't we?
Yeah.
Well, do you want to go first?
Sure. Mine goes to Jake Davis.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. Mine goes to Afrifa.
Sure.
Honorable mention, Tim Melia. Because honestly, he had 6 saves.
Yeah.
None of the 4 goals were his fault.
Right. 100%.
He made 2 point-blank amazing saves on the first goal. So, honestly, Tim Melia had a great game, too.
No,
so
I'm all for that.
That game could have been 8-2 easily.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
MVP, take a pick.
Polito.
Yeah, Polito. Agata, I guess, to be different.
Sure.
Agata actually played well and had sparks.
Right.
He just kept missing, so maybe that one's not fair. I had Kyrie mentioned too, but the more we talk about it, I don't know that one's fair either.
Yeah.
I guess I just got to go with Polito.
It's Polito.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has to be.
Just
yeah. No
thanks.
Yeah. Is it too late to trade him? Can we do that?
Can you trade in MLS? Is that a thing? I guess it is. You just don't really hear about it that often.
Right.
I don't know. Oh, I did see yesterday, maybe it was this morning. Houston signed a number 10.
Oh, good.
So
good for them.
At least one team got a number 10 in the window when they needed it.
Yeah, good for them. I'm excited.
Let's talk about the good soccer team in Kansas City.
Let's do that, please.
There's no banners. I'm sorry. It's current corner time.
Yeah.
We're talking about Kansas City current. This one was interesting. When I looked, I didn't get to watch this one, so I looked on SportsCenter, and it was 1-0 at halftime, and I was like, 1-0 Chicago at halftime, and I was like, great.
Yeah.
And then I looked what felt like 14 seconds later, and it was 2-1.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we managed to score 2. Timo gets another one.
Yep.
Bia gets a goal in her game back. Duh, of course she does.
Of course.
2-2. Chicago does get a 90th minute goal to tie it.
Yeah.
So we do get a draw. However, still undefeated.
Yep.
So that's really what matters.
Yeah.
Still undefeated. Still have not been beaten. Table update here real quick. We are still in first, tied on points with Orlando, but we are still +4 in goal differential.
Yep.
So
they are still undefeated as well.
Yeah, they are also still undefeated.
Yeah.
And when is that game with us?
It
was right before the Olympics.
Yeah.
So it's soon, isn't it?
It's got to be in a few weeks.
I clicked results. Hold on. Fixtures. That's the one. 3 games.
3 games, yeah.
We've got Portland Thorns on Sunday. Next Friday, we've got Houston Dash. And then the Saturday after that, July 6th, we play Orlando Pride.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
That one's on Ion. That needs to be on CBS.
Yeah,
that
we need
game
to
needs to get flexed or
Yeah.
put it on something.
put it on something. We need to see
Put it on
that game.
Paramount. I don't want to watch North Carolina Courage. I don't want to watch that. Nobody does.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's current corner. Take the badge away. I never put it there. All right. Your turn.
My
You want
turn.
to take us around the league?
Let's do this. Sorry, it's phone. It is what it is. Okay, hang on. We're gonna get there. Is this the right stuff? I have no idea. Doing this on the phone is much trickier than I thought it would be.
Yeah, that's fair. We can just do a table update if you want.
That's okay. I'm here. All right. So opening up the weekend, we had Chicago beating Toronto 4-1, beating the pants off of them. LAFC continuing their mighty impressive run, beating Orlando 3-1. We had Charlotte squeaking by against DC United 1-0. We had Philadelphia losing to Miami. Let me be clear here, losing to a messy-less Miami, which also, let me be clear here, they scored down 2 men to win the game 2-1. Stupid.
Yeah. And it wasn't Messi
No.
that scored either.
Yeah. That's why I started with messy-less Miami.
Oh, well,
You should pay attention.
Yeah, that's fair. This is my water time, okay?
Spoiler, we're not doing good, bad, and ugly, but that's my ugly, just in case anybody wants to know. New England Revolution continuing their little winning run. They're won 3 games in a row.
Great.
Beating Vancouver 3-2.
That's what we need is competition for the wooden spoon.
San Jose continuing to lose. San Jose's run away with wooden spoon.
I wouldn't say running away with it.
Well, that's true. We're fighting them for it.
Yeah, they're only 3 points behind us.
Yeah. San Jose losing to Cincinnati 4-2. And then closing out, we had Seattle rebounding, getting a win in Minnesota 2-0.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, like he just mentioned, we're not doing good, bad, and ugly. I did have a good that I want to mention, though.
Do it.
My good was MJ Melendez hitting a grand slam on a 12-pitch at bat.
Yeah.
Put the Royals up 5-2.
Sure.
And gave me something to actually be happy about.
There you go.
Because this happened during the Galaxy game.
Nice.
So I was watching Royals and Sporting 12-pitch at bat where I multiple times, like every Royals fan, was like, oh, great, it's MJ.
Yeah.
And he hits a grand slam to put us up.
There you go.
That he doesn't hit the ball very often, but when he does, it's meaningful.
Yeah.
So
nice.
That was my good. And I'm going to throw that in there because there's other Royals fans that are listening,
Uh-huh.
and it was literally my only happiness that evening.
Yeah, that's valid. That's valid.
There we go. All right, let's preview next week because we have 2 games. Well, this week, actually. I guess it is.
It is this week.
Wednesday, we play at home against Salt Lake.
Yeah.
Salt Lake's first in the West. So
Yeah.
this is going to be rough. I know I saw Arango, their leading scorer, has more goals than all of our forwards combined.
That sounds right.
So that's disappointing.
Yeah,
Although
that
I
checks.
did hear an interesting stat.
Okay.
Just to segue just a little bit. I don't remember where I found it, so I'm not going to look for it. But we are tied for 9th in the league with 28 goals.
That's impressive.
Tied for 9th.
Okay.
So as weirdly enough, as much as you wouldn't guess this, scoring goals, not our problem.
It doesn't feel that way.
That is not. I know it doesn't feel that way at all.
It feels very painful.
We are second to last, or maybe tied for last now. I don't remember exactly in goals given up.
Okay.
So that is our problem. Our
Love
problem
it.
is not scoring goals. We are scoring the 9th most goals in the league.
Yeah.
That's not our problem, as much as it feels like it, because we talk about it all the time. Because even
Right.
when I heard this, I was like, that can't be true. We literally talk all the time about how our finishing is garbage.
Yeah.
Well, apparently, it's not.
Right.
Now, that is to one of your favorite stats. Our expected goals was like 20.7, something like that for the season, and we have 28 goals. So we are still outperforming that stat,
Right.
which is not sustainable. Well, apparently. Maybe it is sustainable.
Who knows?
But when we give up 30-some goals or whatever
Right.
we've given up, this doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, for sure.
But I just wanted to throw that in there that, interestingly enough, despite what I would guess, our problem statistically is not scoring goals.
I don't believe them. But
I believe them, but I think the problem is it's not scoring goals; it's scoring goals in the right opportunities.
that's fair.
Is in the right moments.
Yeah.
Like
I would
we
agree
have a
with
lot of games where we score multiple goals, but
Uh-huh.
they only score one.
Right.
And then if they score more than one, we're just out.
Yeah.
So
that sounds about right.
that's been our problem.
Yeah.
But, anyway, sorry. RSL at home. What are you thinking?
It's gonna be bad.
Yeah, I think so.
It's gonna be real bad.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna lose 4-1. I think it's gonna be rough.
I am not entirely convinced that you aren't changing that because I predicted your 3-1, but you did say it was locked in, so I'll give it to you.
Okay, thanks.
I also don't think it's going to be great. I'm going 2-1. I don't think it's going to be that bad.
Okay.
Maybe that's just wishful thinking. I don't know.
I think we'll be lucky to score a goal, honestly.
Again, we've had this conversation several times. I will never bet against us to not score a goal.
That's
Did
fair.
I say that right? Who cares? I will always say we're going to score because
sure.
I've been right every time.
Yeah.
So that's why the only reason why I think we
fair.
score 1. I think since it's at home, maybe we can hold them to 2. So I'm going 2-1 RSL.
Okay, fair enough.
The 22nd, things get easier for us.
Do they?
No.
Okay.
We have to play defending champs?
Defending champs.
Did
Columbus Crew.
they just win? Okay, yeah. Defending champs Columbus Crew
Uh-huh.
in Columbus.
Yeah.
Yay. They're 6th in the East, so they're not quite as good as they were last year, but still. How do you think this one goes?
I mean, it's going to be a little bit better because they're not quite as good as RSL. We're still going to get the pants beat off us. I don't know, 3-1, I guess.
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't even like at this point. I just don't even know.
That's fair. I agree with that. Also, I'm
Yeah.
going 3-2 Columbus. So.
The ultimate like salt in the wounds though is the weekends that I will be in Salt Lake watching a game. Is the weekend we're finally playing an East Coast game.
Yeah.
That I can't enjoy.
Yeah.
Can't
the game
enjoy
being
the
done
game earlier.
Yeah.
So thanks for that, everybody.
Who are you watching against RSL? I don't remember.
Galaxy.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I wonder if Pooch will be back.
Pooch should be back. Yeah.
Well,
should be. We'll see if we get him.
I guess we'll see.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's all I got.
Yeah, that's all.
You got anything else?
No.
Cool.
It's a short one.
All right, guys. We'll get everybody out of here. We are, again, I want to remind everybody, we are now streaming on Fired Up Network, True TV app.
Love it.
Get it on Amazon Store, Roku, Apple TV, all that good stuff. All of our links are below because I don't want to type them all out anymore. Check us out there. Give us a like and subscribe on YouTube. If
Yes,
you don't mind,
please.
because we would appreciate it. It does really kind of help us. Helps get our videos out too.
Yeah.
So that would be helpful.
It would be great.
Awesome. Anything else?
That's all I got.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, Steve.
You all have a great week.
See you.